All right, let's talk about some of JavaScript's hidden superpowers. Today, we're going to unlock two of its most powerful, but, often kind of misunderstood secret tools. Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to start with a couple of common headaches that every developer faces. Then we'll dive into our first solution, generators. After that, we'll tackle the second problem with our other secret weapon, proxies. And by the end, you'll have some serious new programming superpowers.
So before we get to the cool solutions, let's set the stage a bit. Let's talk about two really frustrating problems that I'm willing to bet almost every single one of us has run into.
First up, this monstrosity on the left. You've probably seen it, maybe you've even written it. We call it callback hell, and it's this pyramid of doom with nested functions that makes your code an absolute nightmare to read, let alone debug. Now, yeah, these days we have awesome tools like async await that make it look clean, like the code on the right. But have you ever stopped and wondered what underlying magic makes that clean code even possible? That's what we're getting into.
And then there's this problem. You've got this beautiful, clean object, but you need to protect it, right? So how do you make sure the data going in is valid without just, littering your code with a million repetitive if statements for every single property? It gets so messy so fast.
All right, for that first headache, that tangled async mess, the solution is something that honestly feels a little bit like magic. It's a feature that basically lets you pause and play time inside your own code. It's called a generator function.
So what even is a generator? The big idea, the thing you really need to get, is that it's not like a normal function that just runs from top to bottom and then it's done. No way. You can actually stop it right in the middle of its execution, do something else, and then restart it later. It's like having a pause button for your functions.
Okay, so this whole pausing thing sounds cool, but how does it actually work? Like, what does the code look like? Well, it all comes down to some special keywords.
It really comes down to two things. First, you see that little star, that asterisk right after the word function? That's the secret handshake. It tells JavaScript, hey, this is a generator, not your run-of-the-mill function. And then there's that yield keyword. Think of it like a stop sign. It pauses the function right there and passes a value back out to whatever called it.
And this is how you control it. You keep calling this .next method on the generator. The first time you call it, the function starts running until it hits that first yield. Then boom, it pauses. And what it gives you back is this little object. It has the value, banana in this case, and this done property, which is false because, well, we're not done yet. We have more yields to get to.
And here is where it all clicks. This is the payoff. This is how we fix callback hell. You can combine generators with promises. You kick off an async task, like fetching data from an API, and then you yield. The function just pauses, waiting. Once the data comes back, you call .next and feed that data back into the generator. And just like that, your async code reads like simple, top-to-bottom, synchronous code. It's so clean.
Okay, on to our second big problem. How do we protect our data objects? The solution is basically to hire a bouncer, or maybe a gatekeeper for your object. And in the world of JavaScript, that gatekeeper is called a proxy.
The official definition is a bit formal, but it totally nails it. A proxy basically wraps around your original object. And anytime someone tries to do something to that object, like read a property or change a value, the proxy intercepts that action. It stops it dead in its tracks and says, hold on, I get to decide what happens next.
So this gatekeeper sounds great, but it's not much good without instructions, right? We have to tell it what to do, and we do that by giving it a rulebook, which in JavaScript is an object we call a handler. This little diagram shows it perfectly. Without a proxy, your code just talks directly to the object. Simple. But with a proxy, there's a middleman. Your code tries to talk to the object, but the proxy gatekeeper steps in first. It intercepts the message and only lets it through if it follows the rules we've set.
Okay, let's make this super practical. Imagine we're building a validator. Our rulebook, the handler, can have a rule for setting properties. So when some code tries to do user.age equals 17, our gatekeeper intercepts it. It checks, hey, is the property they're changing age? Yep. Okay, is the value they're trying to set less than 18? Yep. Whoa, hold on, that's not allowed, and it throws an error. That invalid data never even gets to the original object. How cool is that?
So let's put it all together. Once you get the hang of these two tools, you've basically unlocked a couple of new programming superpowers.
All right, so let's do a quick recap. We've got generators, right? These are our time-pausing functions. Their superpower is taking messy, complicated async code and making it look clean and simple. Then we've got proxies.
They're our object gatekeepers. Their superpower is intercepting operations, which is perfect for things like data validation, logging, or all sorts of advanced metaprogramming, all without cluttering up your main code.
Look, the bottom line is this. These aren't just weird academic features of JavaScript. They are incredibly powerful, practical tools that can help you write code that's way cleaner, safer, and just easier to understand. So, now that you know the secret, now that you have the keys to unlock them, what are you going to build with them?